everybody. Welcome again to our second class at home. This is the beginner's class, self-defense. So we're going to cover the material from white belt to gray belt, and then gray belt to tan belt, and tan belt to yellow belt for those red stripes, okay? That's what we're going to be covering. So remember, with self-defense, that's going to be the highlighting thing, and that's the red stripes, and that's what we're covering. Remember, every beginner class, we cover three kinds of material: basics, self-defense, and sparring. Today we're focusing on the self-defense. And we got Mr. Frierson here and Mr. Zimmerman. They're going to be partnering up with each other. Now, by the way, I will be showing you how to practice some of this at home without a partner in case you don't have somebody, and that's okay. You can still practice, but at the same time, we're going to do it with a partner so that way you can see how it should be done with a partner. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bow to you and get started. Cue escape. Ready? Saying the student creed. I will build true confidence through knowledge of the mind, honesty of the heart, and strength of the body. I will offer friendship to others and strive to build a strong community. I will, as a black belt, win the battle within myself and never fight to achieve selfish ends. All right, so we're going to start with the escapes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the white belt going to gray belt escapes, and that's the clasp hands escape. So we're going to have Mr. Frierson come and face Mr. Zimmerman right here. All right, so remember with the clasp hands escape, when someone comes up and grabs your wrist, the weakness is the thumb that we're going for. Remember, when you look at someone's hand, the four fingers are together, that makes them strong. The thumb all by itself tends to be weak. So the first thing we're going to do is turn the palm down. We're going to grab our own hand, and then you step back and pull it to your ribs on the other side, okay? So that's how you can practice at home. So as you're seeing them practice here, you could just be practicing by turning your palm down, reach underneath and grab, and notice again, we don't interlock fingers. Fingers are tight together, they cross, and then from here we step back and pull. All right, so we're going to start off by having them bow to each other, and we're going to have Mr. Zimmerman come up and take his right hand and reach straight across and grab Mr. Frierson's hand. So all Mr. Frierson is going to do is turn his palm down, he reaches and grabs his own hand, and then remember to step back with the opposite foot and escape. Yeah. Good. Let's go ahead and have him try it again. So he grabs, ready, turning the palm down, grab, and escape. Yeah. Now, so that you can see this from a different angle, now we're going to have Mr. Frierson take his right hand, reach straight across, and grab Mr. Zimmerman. So Mr. Zimmerman's going to turn his palm down. So again, notice how the palm is down, just like this. He reaches underneath and grab. And then from here, he's going to step back with his opposite foot. And this is the key. Don't step with the same side foot whenever you turn your hand palm down. Step with your opposite foot. Ready, escape. Good, just to demonstrate that again, he grabs, ready, escape. Good, okay. Now we're going to have Mr. Zimmerman grab Mr. Frierson with two hands on that wrist. Now he's going to do the same thing. The only thing that's different is, because this arm is in the way, he can't reach underneath and grab because he would be pulling against the fingers. So what he's got to do is leave his hand in a natural position, reach over and grab his own hand. Then from this position, with both of your hands connected, you turn the hand down, and see how awkward that becomes as soon as he does that. Then he steps back with his opposite foot and escapes. Yeah. Good, okay, so he's going to demonstrate that again. So he takes two hands and grab, he reaches over the arm, turns the palm down, and escapes. Now, Mr. Frierson is going to grab Mr. Zimmerman so you can see the other side of it. So he takes both hands and grab the left hand. Now, by the way, it doesn't matter which hand they grab. It's just always remember to step with the opposite foot. So he's going to reach over, turn the palm down, and escape. Good. Again, he grabs again, reaches over, turn the palm down, and escape. Very good, okay? So one last scenario we work with, the clasp hands escape. So Mr. Zimmerman is now going to take his right hand and reach across, you're going to take your left hand and reach straight across and grab his right. Very good. Now, his left, it's left to left, I'm getting that confused. Now, Mr. Frierson, just like he did when there were two hands on there, he's still going to reach over and grab. So he reaches over, turns the palm down, see again how awkward that is, and then he steps back and escapes. Yeah. You notice it's exactly the same as when they grab with two hands, but you do the same thing when they grab and a cross grab. So he grabs him again, and then he just reaches over and escapes. So so that you can see it from the other way. Mr. Frierson's going to take his left hand to Mr. Zimmerman's left hand. And again, notice how he reaches over, grabs the hand, turns the palm down, and escapes. Good. One more time. He grabs again. Ready? Reaches over and escape. And again, what weakness are we working on? It's the thumb. You got it, okay? So now we're going to go on. That's for the white belts going to gray belt for your first red stripe. We're going to go ahead and go on to the next escape, and that's from the front chokehold. So the first escape from the front chokehold, Mr. Zimmerman's going to come up and grab Mr. Frierson. Now, this is the clasp hands escape just like you did from the wrist. With the wrist, you turn the palm down, reach over and grab, and then escape. The only thing that's different is you got to take your hand over the arm. So he takes his hand over the arm, reaches underneath, and then steps back with the opposite foot and escapes. Yeah. Now Mr. Frierson is going to do it with his other arm. So when Mr. Zimmerman grabs, he takes his left hand over, reaches underneath, and then he steps back with his opposite foot. Yeah. Good. He's going to do it one more time exactly that way so you can see. He puts this hand palm down, reaches underneath, and escapes. Very good. Now the next escape is where we're putting pressure against the wrist. So now Mr. Frierson is going to grab Mr. Zimmerman in a front choke. And the second escape is against the weakness of the wrist. So Mr. Zimmerman's going to raise his right hand straight up and he's going to spin towards you. Again, remember, whichever arm you raise up, step with the other foot. And he spins out of it. Escape. Good. Try it again. Tack or grab. He reaches up and spin. So that you can see it the other way, he grabs again. Mr. Frierson grabs again. And now Mr. Zimmerman's going to do it with his other arm. So he raises his arm straight up and spin. Very good. Now Mr. Frierson's going to step back and Mr. Zimmerman's going to grab him in the choke again. This time, though, we're going to use the confusion of the mind. He's going to slap down on one arm, up on the other. Try to hit with your palm heels. You want to hit down with your palm heel on one side, palm heel on the other. Now, most people, when they get grabbed in a choke, most people will try to strike down or up, and it could work, but if they're a lot bigger or stronger, we want to surprise them by striking both ways at the same time and step back. So just like this, he puts one hand over, one hand under, and strikes and step back. Good. And he's going to do it one more time so you can see this. Ready? And again, by the way, when you're practicing at home, if you don't have a partner, you can practice the motion. All right, ready? Escape. Good, very good. And then, of course, the last one, he grabs him in a front choke. And all you're going to do is take two fingers, aim for the weak part of the throat, just right there in that center fleshy part, and then you just step and push away. Ready, go. Exactly, okay? So again, if you're at home and you don't have anyone to practice with, you can practice the clasp hands escape against the wrist by going palm down, grab, escape. If you're practicing the choke escape that way, you turn the palm down, grab, escape, knowing that we're going against the weakness of the cool, you got it. And then the next one, of course, the person grabs you in the front choke, and you can practice raising your arm, pinching that hand, and spinning out of it, going against the weakness of the wrist, you got it. And then, of course, striking up and down. You can even practice that. Imagine someone grabs you in a choke, strike up and down, okay? And then, of course, you can imagine someone grabs you in a choke, take two fingers, push them away, and just practice it just like that. Let's go ahead and keep moving. So now we're going to work on the material for tan belts going to yellow belt for your first red stripe, and this is what's called the praying hands escape. So the first thing I want everybody to do is we're all going to face this direction, okay? So they're going to face this way, but I'm going to face you so you can see what they're doing. We're going to put our hands together. This is why it's called the praying hands escape. We're going to step with our left foot. So you step and press down over the knee. Then you trap the hand to your body, pivot, and push the hand off. Okay? Good. Let's try it again. All right? So you're going to put your, sorry about that. You're going to put your hands together, step with the left foot, and then you trap the hands. Now remember that important pivot, and push the hand off. Very good. Let's try that one more time. So you put your hands together, step and dive, trap, and pivot and push their hand off, okay? That's what we call the praying hands escape. So now they're going to face each other. Mr. Zimmerman is going to take his right hand and he's going to reach straight across and grab Mr. Frierson. Now Mr. Frierson is going to do the praying hands escape. He puts his hands together. Now when he steps, remember that if he's stepping this way, he always uses the left foot. If you step this way, you always use your right. So remember, whichever way you step, that's the foot that leads you. Whichever way you step, that's always the foot that leads you. So he's got his hands together, he steps and dives under the arm. He traps the hand, and then he pushes him off. Good, so watch again. So attacker grabs, he puts his hands together, step and dive, trap, and escape. So again, for those of you at home, we can practice it together. So Mr. Zimmerman grabs. I'm pretending someone's grabbing me. Put your hands together, step and dive, trap, escape.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can practice at home doing it just like that. Now, if he grabs the same, he's going to take his right hand, but he's going to grab over here. Now, this is a cross grab, but with the praying hands escape, it doesn't matter which hand or which hand they grab. It matters which hand they're grabbing from. Since he's still grabbing from this side, Mr. Fryerson's still going to step with his left foot this way. So let's imagine that. Put your hands together, step and dive, trap, and push those hands off. Perfect, very good. Now, Mr. Zimmerman's going to take his other hand and grab either wrist. It doesn't matter which wrist he grabs. Mr. Frierson puts his hand together, but now he's got to dive under the arm this way, so that means he has to use his right foot. Then he traps, and now he pushes the other way. Good, so again, attacker grab. So imagine attacker grabs you. Put your hands together. Step and dive with your right foot. Trap that hand and escape.
Yeah.
Good, try it again. Attacker grab. Put your hands together. And notice, he's still grabbing with this hand. Even though he grabbed Mr. Fryerson's other hand, he still needs to step this way. So step and dive, trap, and escape. Now, if someone happens to grab both hands on both of his hands, now you put your hands together, and it doesn't matter which way you go. It's just that if you go this way, you have to use your left foot. If you go this way, you have to use your right. So Mr. Frierson is first going to demonstrate it by stepping with his left foot. Ready? He steps and dives, trap, and escape. Mr. Zimmerman's going to grab him again, and he's going to do the same thing. Puts his hands together, two hands on two. Two hands on two. Yeah, there you go. It won't work against two hands on one. So you put your hands together, step and dive with the right foot, trap, and escape. Good, let's try that again, make sure that we saw that correctly. So two hands on two, he puts his hands together, and now he's going to step that way. Step and dive, trap, and escape.
Yeah.
Good, very good. Now, if someone grabs your lapel, and what we call a double lapel, where they come up and they grab your uniform with both hands, Mr. Zimmerman's going to grab Mr. Frierson. Mr. Frierson's going to put his hands together, and just so you can see it, he's going to step and dive with his right foot. Then he takes his knuckles behind Mr. Zimmerman's knuckles. Now notice how he's like this. What a lot of students will do is they try to put the hands over here. This won't work, okay? You've got to put the hands like Mr. Frierson did behind the knuckles, and then you push those hands off. Ready? Escape. Yeah. And you're going against the weakness of the fingers. Exactly, okay? So he's going to do it again. He grabs him. He puts his hands together, steps with the right foot, step and dive. Knuckles to knuckles, escape. Good. Make sure that when you step, you really step and try to push him off balance. Try to step past him. So he goes to grab him again. And he puts his hands together, step and dive, and step past him. So try to step past him. Yeah, there you go. Knuckles to knuckles, and push those hands off. Good. Now let's see it from the other direction. He grabs again in a double lapel. Go ahead, Mr. Zimmerman. He puts his hands together. Now he's going to step with his left foot. Ready? Step and dive. Knuckles to knuckles, and push those hands off. Perfect. Good. Go ahead and relax. And those are the escapes that you have to know for white going to gray, gray going to tan, and tan going to yellow. And so again, by the way, if you have any question about these things, always look in your training book, your progress book, and it does list all this information and explains what you have to know. And then, of course, we teach it to you in class. Now, we're going to go on to the self-defense that has to do with the self-defense patterns. Now, remember, when we're talking about someone possibly attacking you, we try to consider 3 theories or steps that we want you to keep in mind. First of all, if you know someone is angry or upset or they might attack you, first keep your distance. Remember, if I'm standing close enough to Mr. Zimmerman, he could punch me, he could grab me, he could kick me before I could do anything. So the first thing we always make sure is that the person has to take at least 1 step. Then when the person does step in and they try to punch you, kick you, or grab you, the next thing we do is move. Now in our self-defense patterns, we try to work on 4 basic directions. We learn to go left, right, forward, and back. In the beginner class, we work on left and right, and that's what we're going to cover in just a moment. And then the last thing we work on is counterattack. Now, white belts go into gray belt though. The first thing you got to learn is how to attack properly for doing our self-defense patterns. So we're going to have Mr. Zimmerman and Mr. Frierson face you. All right, so we're facing this direction. And what you're going to do is you're going to practice with us the basic punch. So go ahead and take your right foot and step forward in a Zendu-Dachi or forward fighting stance. Put your right hand out in punching position, chambering the other hand. Now all we're going to do is just simply pull one hand back and punch with the other. So slowly pull one hand back and punch with the other like you learned in basics. Pull one hand back and punch with the other. Now we're going to do it hard and fast. Ready? Ichi. Ni. San. Shi. Now the position we're in is the position a white belt should be in when they attack somebody for the self-defense patterns. Let's go ahead and relax. Now the way we're going to practice this is we're going to chamber our right hand, and without a step, let's just practice the punch. Okay, so let's give that a try. Ready? Chamber your right hand and punch. Good, try it again. Ready? Chamber your right hand and punch. Good. Now what we're going to do so that you can see this a little better, let's have Mr. Zimmerman just turn this way. There you go, and you're perfect just like you are. All right, so that you can see this one more time, you chamber your right hand and then punch. Good. Now the next thing we need you to add is you're going to step with the right foot as you do it. So chamber the right hand, step with the right foot so you're in a forward fighting stance, punch. Good. Go back. Ready? Chamber the right hand, step with the right foot, punch. Good. Go back. Now they're going to do it harder and faster. So on this next count, I want you to try to chamber your hand, step and punch. Okay? It's one motion. Ready? Itchy. Good. Go back. Try it again. Ready? Knee. Good. One more time. Ready? Some. Good. Now we're going to try it with the left hand. So chamber your left hand. Step with your left foot. Punch. Good. Go back. Try it again. Ready? Chamber your left hand. Step with your left foot. Punch. Good. Go back. Now in one motion, they're going to step and punch with that left hand. Ready? Itchy. Perfect. Let's try it one more time. Ready? Knee. Excellent. You are getting this. That is fantastic. I'm proud of you. Keep up that hard work. Now we're going to do self-defense patterns 1 and 2. Now white belts, all you got to know is how to step and punch for your second red strike. But for gray belts, they need to know self-defense 1, and tan belts, they have to know self-defense number 2. So the way we're going to do this so that you can see this, we're going to have Mr. Frierson step right up here, and he's going to do self-defense number 1 facing you. Mr. Zimmerman is going to face this direction so that he's going the same direction as you. The only thing is he's going to mirror it as he's doing it the way I say to do it, which is the way you're going to be doing it at home, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to step together going this direction, doing a roundhouse block for self-defense 1. So do I need to bring him in just a little this way? So Mr. Zimmerman, if I could get you right there, is that good? All right, fantastic. So we're going to step this direction with our roundhouse block. Ready, block. Roundhouse block. Good, let's go back and try it again. Okay, let's do it a little slower, just so those of you at home, if you're new at this, we can help you with this. So we're going to step this direction. Ready? Step to the side. We're going to do a palm block and then a knife hand block. Very good. Let's go back. Try it again. So ready? Step to the side. Palm block. Knife hand block. Very good. Going back. Ready? Roundhouse block. Good. Go back. Now one motion. Ready? Itchy. Now while you're here, take your left hand and punch to the eye. Ready? Punch. I'm sorry, that was your right hand. Now take your other hand, ridge hand to the cheekbone, and vertical fist to the ribs. Good. Going back. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to be punching at Mr. Zimmerman with my left hand. You guys are going to be doing the same thing as Mr. Zimmerman, and he's going to continue to face you so that you can see this. So as I'm punching left, you guys going this way with your roundhouse block. Ready? Block. Now from here, you're imagining your attacker is still here, and you take your right hand, punch to the eye. Ridge hand to the cheekbone, vertical fist to the ribs. Good, go back. All right, so I want you to practice it just like him. Ready? Block. Punch. Ridge hand. Vertical fist. Good, go back. Now make sure you're taking both feet. A lot of times people kind of leave that other foot behind. Make sure you take both feet. Ready? Block. Punch. Reaching. Vertical twist. Back to the beginning. One more time. Ready? Block. Punch. Reaching. Vertical twist. Back to the beginning. Oh, very good. Now remember, you should work both hands. We're not going to do that in this video today, but we're going to go ahead and go on to self-defense 2. So self-defense 1, the one we just did, is for gray belts going to tan belt for your second red stripe. Now for your second red stripe, for tan belts going to yellow, self-defense number 2. So let's go ahead and practice that. Again, we're just going to step this direction, doing our roundhouse block. So stepping this way, ready? Step, palm block, knife hand block. Good, go back. Now we're just going to do it as a roundhouse block. Ready? Block. Now self-defense number 2 is the split finger strike to the eyes. Ready? Eyes. Then the extended knuckle strike to the throat, and a bare hand slap over the ear. Good, go back. All right, so here we go. Ready? Block. Eyes, throat, ear. Back to the beginning. Yeah, so again, imagine your attacker's coming from right there. There you go. Ready? Block. Because I'm the one facing the camera, so this way they can see it better. Good. Eyes, throat, ear. Back to the beginning. Good. Try it again. Ready? Block. Eyes, throat, ear. Back to the beginning. Very good. So now I'm punching right at Mr. Zimmerman, and you try to do exactly what Mr. Zimmerman's doing. But if you have trouble seeing what he's doing, then look at Mr. Frierson. Ready? Block. So he does his roundhouse block. Eyes, throat, ear. Back to the beginning. Good. Try it again. Ready? Block. Eyes, throat, ear. Back to the beginning. Couple more times. Ready? Block. Eyes, throat, ear. Back to the beginning. Ready? Block. Eyes, throat, ear. Back to the beginning. Perfect. All right, so we're going to turn and face you, and we are completely done with our self-defense class. So we're going to end class the same way we always start. Heel escape. Ready? Karate begins and ends with
courtesy, sir.
Actions have
consequence, sir.
We lead by
example, sir.
We are
responsible, sir.
Therefore, there's no excuse for
bad manners, sir.
Keep practicing at home. Remember, if you didn't get this all down, the neat thing about digital technology is you just play it over and over. Rewind it, go through it again, have fun. We really miss having you in class, but we want you to be able to keep training, practicing, trying to get you ready. This can be great review for some of our higher ranks, and this can be good learning for some of our newer students. Remember, everything takes time, everything is step by step. So this is just simply the beginner self-defense material. We have covered everything from white belt all the way to going to yellow belt. All right, and again, this is the red stripes. We miss you, since Alana and I both miss you a lot. We're hoping this will be over soon so that way we can have you back in class with us. You have a wonderful day. We'll see you for sparring.